Oh my God. As soon as they look at the matter, you don't they dance, you don't they come up for position. From court will not give the approval from to court will give the approval, but they will make sure they save the 2023 election information. Well, good evening, good day according to your time, wherever you are. Good day, and I hope you are doing well. So, for those of you that have seen my channel for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe and kindly hit the notification button and follow my page on Facebook. Leave your comments and like us if that. God bless you. So, I read a lot of comments on Facebook, and you guys are really amazing, and I share most of your ideas, though some of you also give your opinion. That's quite good. So let's come back to this Bvas, and also the reason why we say they want to reset them. What's wrong with Bvas? Let me quickly give you two examples. As big as Italy, as in ancient and strong as it is, in 2022 it was attack. Una know when they attack, and they attack within the culture in Italy, we be saying that their system where they do everything. For that simple reason, Italian people could not sell tickets for quite almost 1 week. You tell the talk. So if you go train station, if you want to take any train, they go tell you, say make you enter, you go buy your ticket for inside. Most of them are witness them. So if you want to go international, above all international, because they know that for them and for the get money, and all these things now aka now their job now waiting they the shop. So last year we be saying and then pop there. Their account, their health system, they're not confident they get information where we say they need. So I don't know how they can resolve them, because none of those kinds of things, not the tell personal secret matter. But however the case may be, they talk now say the fear is that people may hack the BVM or whatever they call it system to like tamper with the real results. Okay, the real results. Let me tell you something. I don't really know why the courts decided to give the INEC go ahead to reform and to rehabilitate this system. I don't see any reason. But let me tell you one thing. If they tell you you reset your phone, I don't know if it has happened to you. Sometimes you will reset it. It will give you half of what you have gotten inside. Sometimes, depends on the kind of reset where you do. If you do erase, it will erase everything. Waiting will come out at the end of this one. If you not take that, they'll say they use mistake and erase everything. So Mona, they wait for the worst.
On the grounds that the information on the Bvas will be uploaded into the back-end server, which cannot be tampered with, following speculations by some IT experts who have said that reconfiguring the Bvas will tamper with evidence and compromise pending litigations by aggrieved presidential candidates. Well, this first reaction is from human rights lawyer and activist INEC. Well, he wrote, "The reason for the controversy over the reconfiguration of Bvas is that INEC, as an institution, has very little credibility. This is about the lack of trust in INEC. If INEC were a credible institution, no one would bother about the possibility of any sort of evidence tampering." Well, Blacksmith wrote, "The court should have gone into detail to know how INEC wants to reconfigure the Bvas and ask INEC to share information about their reconfiguration, including what kind of data in the Bvas will be affected. INEC would tamper useful evidence during this reconfiguration." Well, Matty wrote, "Why would INEC need to reconfigure Bvas? Are they adding new voters to Bvas? According to my knowledge, Bvas have been preloaded with the voter register for each polling unit. We cannot trust people who failed to upload presidential result." Well, the last tweet, there goes. INEC does not need to reconfigure the Bvas devices. They are Android devices. Data can be saved on the device and still used this Saturday. Don't we have multiple pictures, documents, videos, etc. on our phones? Do you need to reconfigure your phone each time you take a new photo? Ayo, I guess that question is quite valid as well, but I believe that you had, a guest earlier who
Yes.
actually used to work with INEC and said that the Bvas would need to be reconfigured because they have to they have to, recalibrate it with the dates and the polling units and all of that. But can you really blame Nigerians? I was looking through all the tweets this morning, and this is the exact sentiment. This is the rhetoric out there. They do not trust the institution. What's your take on this, really quickly?
Yes, very, very, very interesting. Now, the first thing is that the first person we had this morning, the Deputy Dean of Postgraduate Studies at Bvas University, had actually put it very clearly that the reason why you have questions like this has been raised following the ruling by the appeal court yesterday is due to a lack of credibility and deficit of trust. Especially because of the antecedents of INEC. So when they say one thing, unfortunately, they haven't been able to live up to their words or their promises. Hence, when they say what should be a normal procedure or process is being brought under microscopic investigations and Nigerians are not having it. So the conversation is around the fact that the information and evidence that could be used by parties who are before the courts to challenge the results of the presidential elections would be tampered with. I spoke to a few technical experts just to have an idea as to what does reconfiguration what does it entail, and then is it possible, from what the courts had said, that they're going to save up or they're going to back up information on Bvas currently to their server and cloud so that they can't tamper with it. And he said there's no 100% foolproof, fault-proof device. As long as it's technology, there are hackers who can attempt to break the security apparatus of the cloud or the servers. Now, the onus is on INEC in this instance to ensure that their security architecture is strong enough to withstand any kind of manipulation, tampering. In fact, people are not even as concerned about the hackers as they are as to internal manipulations and tampering of evidence. What we can hold on to from the ruling yesterday is that candidates have been said that they can ask for a certified true copy of information on Bvas. So that's one of the things that they were looking at. And also that it would be backed up and it would not be tampered with. Hopefully, this will answer the questions for many Nigerians. However, there's still that question of trust, there's still that question of credibility, there's still that question of competence on the part of INEC, and there's still that question around complicity with hanky-panky, if I could put it that way, with dealing with the information on Bvas. That's the challenge.
Credibility, competence. Dr. Abati, that other Twitter user alluded to the fact that if INEC should just, tell us exactly what it is that they are going to do, that would really probably help to instill trust in the people of Nigeria at this particular moment.
Well, the concern that has been raised by the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room speaks directly to that second tweet that you are talking about. And what the Situation Room is saying is that, look, there should be clarity as to what reconfiguration means. The reconfiguration that INEC is asking for, does it mean that INEC is going to erase data? Because there should be a back end, there should be a storage of data at the back end that will not require tampering with the Bvas or with IREV, so that if in the future people need access to the same data, it will not be that INEC has said, oh, we were reconfiguring and we have erased it. But INEC defends itself and said, oh, we did reconfiguration with card readers, smart card readers. And that is why it is important that the emphasis should be on accountability. The emphasis should be on a proper clarification of what that reconfiguration represents. And that is why it should not be surprising that the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal refused to establish a linkage between reconfiguration and the March 11 elections, because it was not the tribunal that postponed the elections scheduled for this weekend. It was INEC that went back to hold meetings and then said, well, the ruling is too close. Effectively, they have just 48 hours from the time the ruling was given. So they won't be able to do the reconfiguration. And that is why they need to explain what that reconfiguration is all about. IT experts, people in the technological space, say that there's no need for any reconfiguration. And that's why you had that tweet also talking about the tablet being an Android device. Absolutely. And that we don't need to reconfigure our phones each time we need data from it. You know, the way you have set your phone, you can always get data. You can even hide your data in the clouds. Absolutely. Where you can access it. The third point is, why should anybody trust INEC? The same INEC that promises and fails. So what INEC has done with this general election is a promise and fail operation, failing the people of Nigeria. And so you cannot blame the people of Nigeria if they say they do not trust INEC. But what is even worse is that the credibility of INEC as an institution has been called into question. The credibility of its principal officers has been called into question. And I've raised the point elsewhere in an essay that, look, INEC is a graveyard of reputations. We have had INEC chairmen in the past who had to go and hide immediately they finish the assignment. With what INEC is going through, I don't know whether Professor Yakubu Mahmoud will still be able to stand tall in decent company after this is assignment, the end of which we do not know yet, the nature of which is overshadowed by uncertainty, by lack of confidence, by incompetence, by, we hope we don't get to that point, confusion.
Absolutely, absolutely. What do you make of confusion at this point? Because I feel like this is where we are.
I think it was Fela Kuti that talked about confusion in many of his songs. And he famously used the word, na double wahala for daddy body, and the owner for daddy body, na double wahala for daddy body. And that's where we are today. Technology is supposed to be easy. But INEC, please underline my words, has made technology phantasmagorically nebulous. That's what INEC has done. And that's what a lot of people can trust in. And please, in going forward, I think our lords on the bench also should be given prerequisite technological trainings, because they are going to deal with a lot of technology on the bench, especially with these elections. Our lords should be given